The Elves and the Shoemaker. Once upon a time, in a quiet village dusted with the golden glow of morning sunlight, there was a gentle shoemaker named Oliver. His little shop stood at the corner of Maple and Willow Street, nestled between a bakery and a flower shop. Each day, the sweet scent of fresh bread and colourful blooms would drift through his open window as he worked. Oliver was known for his kindness and his wonderful shoes, though lately his luck had worn as thin as the soles on his oldest boots. Oliver worked hard, but he was running out of leather and coins. One chilly evening, as the wind played a soft song against the window pane, Oliver sighed and set the last piece of leather he had on his workbench. "Tomorrow," he whispered, "I will make one final pair of shoes." With hope in his heart and a prayer on his lips, he tidied the shop, swept the floor, and went to bed. That night, the town fell silent under a blanket of twinkling stars. But Oliver's shop was about to welcome some very special visitors. Through the tiniest crack in the window, two elves with sparkling eyes and nimble fingers slipped inside. Their names were Pip and Poppy, and they loved helping those with kind hearts. Seeing the lone piece of leather on the workbench, they grinned at each other and set to work. Their hands moved as quick as a blink. They cut and stitched, tapped and polished, singing a soft tune only elves could hear. By the time the first rays of sunlight peeked through the window, the elves had made the most exquisite pair of shoes Oliver had ever seen. Soft as clouds, glossy as moonlight, with tiny golden stars sewn into the heels. Their work done, Pip and Poppy vanished into the dawn, leaving behind only a whisper of laughter. When Oliver awoke and entered his shop, his eyes widened in wonder. "Where did these come from?" he gasped, holding up the magical shoes. Before long, a traveller passing through the village spotted them in the window. She fell in love with their unique beauty and paid Oliver enough coins for a week's worth of leather and food. With hope rekindled, Oliver bought more supplies and laid out another piece of leather that night. Again, as the village slept, Pip and Poppy returned, weaving their magic into another perfect pair of shoes. This time the shoes had tiny red hearts embroidered along the seams, and they brought even more customers to Oliver's door. Night after night, the elves returned, each time creating shoes more beautiful and imaginative than the last. Some had tiny bells that jingled with each step. Others were painted with scenes of forests and rivers, and once they even crafted a pair that glowed softly in the dark. Oliver's shop became the happiest place in the village, and he was able to help his neighbours and share his good fortune with everyone. One evening, curious to meet his mysterious helpers, Oliver decided to stay awake. He hid behind a stack of shoeboxes and waited. Just as the clock struck midnight, he saw the two elves slip in. Instead of revealing himself, Oliver smiled and quietly whispered, "Thank you." The elves, hearing his gentle words, grinned and knew their kindness had been found. Feeling grateful, Oliver decided to make a gift for his magical friends. He spent days sewing 2 tiny coats, hats and boots, using the finest materials he could find. That night he left the gifts on the workbench. When Pip and Poppy found them, their eyes sparkled with joy. They danced around the shop, giggling and twirling in their new clothes. From that night on, the elves visited often, not just to help, but to share in friendship. Oliver's little shop was never lonely again, and in the heart of the village, kindness, magic, and gratitude bloomed brighter than ever. And so, thanks to the shoemaker and the elves, the village learned that a little bit of magic and a lot of kindness can change everything.